Hey guys, welcome back. So it's that time of the month again. Sounds super weird, but it is my June wrap up. So I did all right this month. I didn't really feel like reading too much, but I ended up reading 6 books in total. Some were pretty good, some weren't so great. So I'll just get started and get into this. The first book I read, I have just got a picture on my iPad, is The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torr, and I've lent this to my friend to read because it was such a good book. And this is a girl about Deanna, and Deanna is a bit cray-cray. So she hasn't left her apartment in over 3 years, and she has these really dark fantasies of she's got homicidal tendencies, so she thinks about killing people all the time, which I found super interesting. And the way she actually funds her lifestyle is she's actually a sex worker online. So she does all her performances over the internet, and she gets quite a lot of money for this. And of a night time, she has a neighbour that actually locks her up, and she can't get out. So he locks her in. She's only got a lock that can lock her in the apartment because she has these homicidal tendencies and wants to go on a big rampage and kill everybody, which is, I found super fascinating. I really enjoyed how fast-paced it was. I would definitely say this is for readers over the age of 18 because it has quite a lot of sexually explicit content in there. But I found the storyline really, really good. She ends up having a client that has kind of pedophilia-like tendencies as well. And then she does a background search and finds out that this guy in this town, a girl, has gone missing. And she kind of leaves the apartment for the first time. And let's say I really, really enjoyed it. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And I would definitely 100% recommend it. The next book I read was by Sophie Kinsella. It's Finding Audrey. And I did really enjoy this book. This is about a girl with social anxiety, and it's about how she deals with it. And she meets this boy named Lanus, and it's her brother's friend, and they're into like computer games, and she kind of meets him through her brother. And it's about how she deals with her social anxiety and her family, and it's kind of like a rediscovery kind of book. I didn't mind it. I had some issues with it. I don't want to give too much away, but I did have some issues. You're going to jump in front of the camera, aren't you, Bruce? Yep. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. That is my cat, Bruce. You little bugger. So I did have some issues with it, but all in all, I gave it 4 stars, 3.5, I think, 4 stars, but I did really enjoy it. The next book I picked up is Unhinged by A.G. Howard, and this is the second book in the Splintered trilogy, and I absolutely love the Under the Dusk jacket here for this book. Unfortunately, I did not like this book at all. I gave this a 2 stars. It was really frustrating. I didn't like the first book, and I bought Unhinged and Splintered together because I really liked the covers, and it was mainly a cover buy, and I thought that I would like it. It's an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and you can read them like as standalones because they don't kind of continue on as much, but I thought I'll give this one another go because lots of people seem to like it, but it just wasn't for me. I found the main character super, super childish. And this guy, Morpheus, he's just... heaps of people love him, but he's such an arrogant shit that this just wasn't for me. And I wanted to throw this book. Like, really got me frustrated. So I was super disappointed about that, but what are you going to do? The next book I picked up was The Martian by Andy Weir. And I do have a bit of a book talk about this book on my channel if you guys want to check that out. But I really enjoyed this. It's not something I would normally read. It's a sci-fi book, and it's about this guy named Mark Watney, and he goes to Mars on an expedition, and his crew that he's on Mars with, they get caught up in this big dust storm, and he ends up being stuck on Mars. And I found it really funny. I really enjoyed it. And it's a survival story, how he survives on Mars, what things get thrown at him and what he has to deal with. And it's going to take them a long time to get back to Mars, and he doesn't have food to live the like a year and a bit it takes to get back to Mars. So it's really, really good. I gave it 4 stars. The only thing I had to complain about it's really science heavy, and I found a little bit went over my head, and it was a bit hard to understand at times. But the writer's done so much research that he's put it in a way that I wanted to keep reading, and I did really enjoy it, this is not something that I would normally pick up. So I'm really glad that I read that. The next book I read, I finally jumped on the bandwagon of The Maze Runner by James Dashner, and I was a bit hesitant to pick this up because I heard both good and bad things, but it is a bit young for me, but I really did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I found it really fast-paced. I think I liked it because I like fast-paced reads, but I did find it really young. So that's the only problem I really had with it. But it's about a guy that gets, if you haven't already read this series, like me, it's about this guy that wakes up in a box in a maze, and everybody around him doesn't have any memory of where they come from or what happened to the world, and neither does he. And then basically it's like a dystopian as well. I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right. And the last book I just finished this morning is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, and I've heard so many fantastic things about this book, and I was like, oh yep, I'm ready to have a new favourite book. And this is a book about a guy named Theodore Finch and a girl named Violet, and he is standing on the ledge of a building, and so is she, and they both have suicidal tendencies, and he ends up saving her, and then it's about how they become friends and about his life and how it intertwines with her life. And I had a lot of issues with this book. I had a lot of issues with this book, mainly because this boy, this Theodore Finch, all his quirky tendencies that he had, like he was really sick. He was not well, and it got put off for so long that it was just ridiculous. That the way he was acting, his spontaneity and his quirks, these were signs of his illness, and nobody did anything about it, and it really infuriated me. But I found that a really engrossing read as well. So I gave it 3.5 stars because I did want to keep reading and find out what happens, but I had a lot of issues with the main character and what was done about his mental illness, because it did really irk me. But it wasn't too bad. I would recommend this to readers just because of the subject content, and it is a great display of a person with bipolar disorder, and I really, really, really am a bit iffy. But give it a go, see what you guys think. So that was all I read, and hopefully in July I can read a few more. I'll keep up with my 5 to 6 books a month. So I'm off to work now to save lives. Hope you guys have a fantastic week. Have a fantastic day. Leave some comments down below what you guys are reading or what you read this month, and let me know what you guys thought. Okay, bye!